The call. I'm pressing record now. Thank you all for joining the call. This is our normal standing office hours. We do 2 of these per month based upon topics that you as customers have submitted to us as success advocates to try to help you traverse some of the topic nature that you're interested in using and leveraging within the ServiceNow platform. My name is Charles Rayburn. I'm a success advocate manager here. And the goal of this office hour is to talk about application portfolio management from the Paris kind of cover some of the Paris functionality, different types of capability sets. A guest speaker, Amar, who will definitely talk us through the first 15-20 minutes, level setting and grounding us in the topic nature. And then for the remaining portion of time, it'll be questions related to anything and everything that you guys have on that topic. So hopefully the questions will be lively for that. I am recording the session, so for those who are not able to attend and only able to listen in on the recordings, definitely shoot over any questions you may have about the topic nature to your success advocates, and we'll do our best to point you in the right direction around best practice information, or actually ask the subject matter expert for some follow-up questions related to that. So without further ado, Amar, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Charles. Hi, everybody. I'm Amar. I've been handling the product management function for application portfolio management for the last 3.5 years. So let me quickly start sharing my screen. And yeah, so before we dive into the what we are delivering as part of Paris and Quebec family releases, I just want to give you a 2-minute introduction to application portfolio management so that we have some context. So application portfolio management is that single place where organizations can store the list of all the business applications that they have in the enterprise. Before APM, the list of all applications is spread across several spreadsheets in different systems, and there is no single centralized inventory. So with that, organizations face a dilemma, when it comes to decision making, what apps to invest in and what apps to retire, etc. So with APM, there is this one single central place where applications can store and manage their inventory. So now talking about the use cases, these are our primary use cases in APM. So we split all the use cases into 4 different portfolios: application portfolio, business portfolio, tech portfolio, information portfolio. And the last one is, okay, after analyzing the portfolio from all of these 4 angles, what do I actually do, right? So application portfolio to start with is basically gathering the list of all your applications in one single central place, right? So once you have identified all the list of all the applications, the next big question to ask is, okay, what part of the business do they relate to? What capabilities are they providing, right? So that is the business portfolio that we have. And the next question that we have is, okay, now that I have all the applications I've identified, what part of the business do they relate to, right? So the next question that we answer in the is the tech portfolio, that is understanding the infrastructure, what software and what hardware that each application is running on, right? Are all the software that my application is running on, is it still supported by the vendor? Is any software out of date, out of support? So, so that I understand, I analyze my portfolio from a technology perspective, from a technology risk perspective. The next question here is, what information assets do my applications use? So for example, is my application storing any PII data? Is my application storing any payment card data? If yes, then I become subject to PCI DSS compliance, right? So that is the next question that we answer: what information that business application stores, right? And by analyzing a portfolio from all of these 4 angles, you identify opportunities and solutions for improvements. Say, for example, if I'm running an application that is running on Oracle database server that is no longer supported by Oracle, then here is an opportunity for me to upgrade my Oracle database to the latest version of Oracle database. Or if my application is running, is using, say, PII data, then I am subject to so and so controls. And if I'm not in compliant with those controls, and here is an opportunity for me, or so, I identify what tasks I need to do to get in compliance with those controls, right? So basically, this is an overview of APM, all the 4 different portfolios that we manage: application, business, technology, and information. So with that, I will kind of jump into the next. I'll kind of jump into what is coming up here in Quebec. Let me stop sharing for a minute while I pull up the right PPT.
No.
I've started sharing my screen again. Hope you all can see it. So these are the features that we are delivering as part of the Paris release. So first one is business application lifecycle management services. And then the three big features, I would say. I will not talk about the minor enhancements that we are making. First one is business application lifecycle management services. Second one is business application similarity using predictive intelligence. And the third one is reports queries using CMDB query builder. To talk about the business application lifecycle management services, we are introducing three basic services through service catalog, register a business application, request architecture review, and retire a business application. So register a business application is we are kind of bringing in a governance process around onboarding a new business application. If an app owner wants to onboard a new business application, app owner can no longer create a record directly into the business application table, but the app owner has to raise a request, and that request goes through an approval process. Internally we kind of trigger a workflow, and that workflow can be configured. It can have like several steps in that workflow, and it needs to go through a bunch of approvals, say information security approval, or architecture review approval, etc. And once it goes through all of that approvals, only then will the record be created in the business application table. So basically we are trying to govern the entire life cycle of the business application through these three services. The second service is request architecture review. That is whenever any change, any significant change needs to be made through a business application, the app owner has to request for an architecture review, and then that goes through an approval process. And once it is approved, only then will the business application owner be allowed to make the changes that are proposed. The third service is retire a business application. So whenever a new application whenever application needs to be retired or decommissioned, again we are bringing up a process related to that. So app owner has to raise a request, which will again trigger a project internally. The project will have several steps or several tasks that need to be completed as part of the retire or decommissioning of a business application, right? So to give you some screenshots in the service catalog, once you click, we have introduced a new category called business application lifecycle management, where you can see all the three services. So this is a registered business application form, basic details. We did not purposely create a big form, but a basic form which contains details like name, description, etc. And internally we trigger a workflow. This is the basic default out of the box workflow that is available, which customers can configure. And then yeah, so this is with this I talk about the second feature, which is business application similarity, right? So what we found on the field here is customers have like thousands of business applications, 3,000, 4,000 business applications. When they are onboarding a new business application, how do I categorize it? Is it like, okay, human resource management application, or do I call it recruitment application, or do I call it an onboarding application? What is the appropriate category that I put into? So there we are using business application similarity. We are using the predictive intelligence, that is all the machine learning, artificial intelligence features of ServiceNow are bundled together as predictive intelligence. So we are using some of the capabilities of the platform there to kind of predict what category the application should go into, right? If you see my screenshot here, the user types in the name and the description. Based on the name and the description, we automatically populate the category of the business application, saying, okay, this business application can fall into the category of workforce, right? It is dependent on the categories that the customer has already created. Say customer has created say 50 categories of business application to categorize their portfolio of 4,000 applications. So we look at similar business applications, and then we suggest, okay, similar business applications, you have categorized them as belonging to workforce category. So this is our suggestion, saying this application should also be categorized like that. So this is a new feature that we are introducing called business application similarity. And behind the hood, we are making use of machine learning algorithms to kind of generate that similar business application category and then suggest to the user, right? And then the next service that we've introduced is request architecture review. Again, a plain simple form to request for architecture review, and followed by workflow for that. And then retire business application, again, like what business application we want to retire, and then we have a workflow for that, right? Yeah. So with that, I will quickly move on to the next feature. I think I spoke about like two features: business application lifecycle management services, and then the application similarity. And with that, I'll talk about the CMDB query builder, right? So CMDB query builder is a reporting tool. I think you all have heard about CSDM, Common Service Data Model, which is kind of becoming that unifying data model which ties all of the ServiceNow products, specifically the ITX products together, ITSM, ITOM, ITBM, ITAM, everything. So CMDB query builder is kind of becoming the de facto reporting tool for CSDM. So we have kind of integrated with the CMDB query builder to bring some out of the box reports, right? So here is a UI from the CMDB query builder. And as you can see, these are the left hand side, these are the out of the box reports that we are providing. Business applications capability supported by business applications, application services for a business application, etc. Right, and this is how the CMDB query builder. I know you can configure and provide like different visualizations for each of this report, but out of the box we are providing like 7 or 8 reports, and each report with a visualization, right? So that is the next big feature that we are coming up in Paris, right? With that, I'll quickly jump on to what is coming up in Quebec release, right? So with Quebec release, we are actually like we have actually started releasing it through the store. As you all know, we have a ServiceNow store, and many of our apps, if you look at the trend over the last 2 years, many of our new features, applications, products, we are delivering it through the store, so that the innovation come is available to all of our customers quickly. So with Paris release, this is the first time that APM is releasing something to the store. So far, till Paris release, all has been through the family route. But from Quebec onwards, APM started releasing it through the store. So the first set of apps are available on store. They went live on October 15th, and they're available for download. And these two apps are related to the feature of business application risk assessment, right? So in these two apps, we kind of integrate with the GRC apps, right? So let me tell you the store app names. Yeah, I'll come to the store app names in a minute. So business problem that you're trying to solve here is the number of business applications is increasing on a day-to-day basis, and managing the risk on these business applications is becoming a tedious task for all of our customers. What we get to understand is our customers are spending a significant amount of effort in managing the risk around all of these business applications. So by integrating with GRC, so our solution here is integrate APM product with GRC product to manage the risk on the business application. And a big part of this integration is GRC uses the information objects. I think earlier while introducing APM, I spoke about the fourth pillar, that is information portfolio, wherein we said that for a business application, we identify a list of all the information assets or information objects used by a business application, right? So GRC uses this information portfolio to automatically kind of analyze the overall inherent risk rating of a business application, and what all risks the business application is exposed to, and what all controls the business application should be compliant with. So information objects on the business application to information object mapping on the APM side is being used by GRC to arrive at all of these things, the risks, the controls, right? So the three key benefits of this solution here is, first one is reduction in effort on IT risk managers on the GRC side, as well as on the APM side. On the APM side, the app owners, and on the GRC side, current process, significant amount of time goes into analyzing the risk of the business application. We expect that that effort will come down very significantly. Second one is improved information communication. Currently, the process is, there's a whole lot of offline communication over Slack, over email, and all. But now we are kind of putting all of that into the system and kind of driving an automatic process end to end. So this significantly reduces the amount of offline communication that happens. And real-time insights into business criticality. Anytime you want to see the status, like what is the risk rating of a business application, or where we are with respect to the compliance, right? So it is just like it is available on the platform. So everything is now available on the platform. So I'll quickly talk about the life cycle of the whole feature. So first thing here is the feature starts off with information gathering. Information gathering is when the risk manager on the GRC side sends in a big questionnaire to the app owner, and the app owner takes that assessment, right? So what we have seen is the questionnaire, we have, I think, interviewed like about 10 customers, and we have seen that the questionnaire in today's process as well, there's a questionnaire, and that questionnaire can consist of anywhere between 50 to 100 questions. And answering that questionnaire is like a tedious process. So what we have done here is, the first time the app owner has to answer the questionnaire. From the second time onwards, we automatically populate that questionnaire based on the previous responses the app owner has already given. So this significantly reduces a lot of time into the whole information gathering process. Second one is on the GRC side, they do an asset classification BIA assessment. BIA is business impact assessment, and they run a job based on the and that job based on the answers provided by the app owner in the assessment, and based on the business application to information object mapping, they kind of evaluate the overall risk on that business application. As part of that, they also identify the risks and the controls, right? What all risks the business application is subject to, and what all controls the business application should be compliant with. So they identify all of these items. And then automatically, once we identify the risk, we kind of create few tasks which tell, okay, to manage this risk, these are the risk mitigation tasks, or to manage, to become compliant with these controls, right? We automatically say that, okay, you're subject to these 10 controls, and we see that you're not compliant with these 6 controls, right? And we automatically create issues for those 6 controls that we are not compliant with, and then we create tasks in the system so that, you know, your app owner can work on those tasks and close those controls. And this is kind of a repetitive process, because the application assessment happens like quarterly or on a 6 monthly basis. The same process repeats again and again, right? So whatever I've just described is like kind of detailed out here, broad steps in the solution flow. And then, yeah, here, you know, this slide talks about the key persona, the IT risk manager and IT application owner being the main people. Uh, and then, you know, this is a detailed slide which explains, I can share all of these slides with you all after this call, which explains the entire flow, whatever I just explained, how the entire flow happens, how the communication between the IT app owner and the risk manager on the GRC side happens, right? Implementation of the controls and all. And the same thing, we have kind of the same picture we've kind of depicted here in a different way based on persona, right? And based on the process, right? From information gathering to the assessment to risk mapping, right? To the controls mapping, right? What each persona is expected to do in each phase, right? And here is a walkthrough of all the screens that we have. So here, as you can see on the business application form, once you install the plugins, you will find a host of tabs on the business application form. Uh, First one is the information object attributes. This talks about all the information object and the qualifier properties, whether the business application does a create, read, update, delete on the information object. And the second tab is a risk questionnaire tab. Here is a risk questionnaire. The app owner has to click on the take assessment button out here to kind of take the assessment. So this is a sample questionnaire, and out of the box, we are giving a sample questionnaire, and then customers can edit that questionnaire to, you know, to suit their current, to suit their organizational requirements and needs. And then once the questionnaire is submitted, we run a job behind the scenes, and that job will come up with list of all the will come up with an overall risk rating for that business application. In this case, this business application has got a risk rating of high, and then we automatically come up with a list of all the risks that the business application is subject to, right? This is the list of all the risks. And then against all the risks, we are again generate the tasks. So for example, in this case, we are saying we have to integrate with SSO, right? So what are the risk response tasks? And this is the list of all the controls the business application is subject to. And then if at all the application is not subject to any of these controls, then we automatically raise issues saying, right? And then these are the GRC issues. And then we automatically create tasks to kind of become compliant with those issues, right? So the app owner is expected to work on these tasks, right? So for example, mask sensitive data on the form, right? So the app owner needs, on this business application, the app owner on the form needs to work on this task to become compliant with these controls. And once the app owner finishes that, it's a last step, which is a manual step. The app owner is expected to take the assessment. Assessment meaning it is just a confirmation from the app owner saying, I have worked on this task. Here is the story number or the project number. And hence I am now compliant with the controls. It is kind of a self-assessment process the app owner is expected to take. So only like answering the questionnaire and the control attestations, these are the only two manual steps. Remaining all generating the risk to identifying all the risk to risk response tasks, control, GRC issues, issue remediation task, all of this is kind of automated, right? So yeah, so that is kind of the end-to-end flow of the two store apps that we are delivering, that we have already delivered as part of the Quebec release, right?
Hey, there's one quick question that came into the chat window, and it's from Tia. Can you import data into the assessment module example via Excel? So based upon what you were just talking about there, is that possible?
I guess so, but I can confirm that because we are depending on the standard platform feature of assessments. I guess it is possible to import questionnaire.
Yeah, you can import. I was going to answer that one on the
Yeah.
the chat or sorry, the chat. But the intent of assessments, though, they are intended to be like timely surveys that you're sending out because you're gathering data or input from your application owners or your risk managers, etc. But if you wanted to bulk load the results, because you collected them through some other mechanism, that's a platform feature. There would be configuration required, but you could probably do that.
Thanks, Al. And I started sharing my screen again. So these are the two store apps that are available that are live on store.servicenow.com. The first one is application portfolio management integration with risk management, and customers who have got the GRC advanced risk app can install this app. And the second app is application portfolio management integration with policy and compliance. So customers who have got GRC policy and compliance app can install this app, right? The set of these two apps deal with the overall feature of business application risk assessment, and as I showed, they'll populate all of those. You'll be able to see all of those tabs in the business application form once these two apps are installed.
Great.
I know that was a quick overview into what is coming up in Paris and Quebec release.
All right. Any questions now from the customers on the call? Do you guys have any points of clarification you want to have with given what Amar had reviewed? Thank you, Al, for adding some additional information for that. No questions? All right. Well, I guess this will be a short office hour then. I greatly appreciate that, Amar. Are there any particular links to any additional information that we should be sending out to the customers after this call, in addition to the deck that you kind of showcased to kind of help them get ready for or take advantage of what's in Paris, and then also to what's coming up in Quebec? If you want to share?
So as always, Charles, I'll add that our Now Learning is a great site for training content on any of the APM features. We pretty much keep those up to date as we release new features. Some of the things you demoed and that Amar's demoed for you for Paris is definitely already updated on our Now Learning site. The other resource that you can use is Create Now. So we have another site as well that has best practice content and how to implement not just the application portfolio management, but other ITBM and IT workflow products. So those are other resources that you can take advantage of.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Al. All right, everyone. Well, if there aren't any other questions, I haven't seen any other questions pop up on the chat window. This will be a very short office hour this time. This was just really meant to kind of go over some of the functionalities coming out and take advantage of Paris, et cetera. So I appreciate everyone's time. Thank you, Amar. Thank you, Albert, for showing up for this call. And everyone have a safe, happy holiday season. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.